As promised, today I'm sharing with you in this video what I would do in Paris with kids under 10. Bonjour, my name is Blandine and I am a big fan of Paris, and I am a huge believer that visiting with kids is a great idea. For 80% of my life I've lived in or around Paris. Visiting with our kids is much more than creating big memories. It also helps them with their creativity and with their critical thinking. For me, as a parent, that was so important. And from where I stand, they are now young adults, it was a great idea. Sometimes, though, visiting with little ones can be challenging, but it's worth it. And of course, sometimes you need to adapt the plan at last minute. So let's see the list I have in store for you today. You can screenshot it and screenshot the map. Let's start with le Palais de la Découverte and l'Arc de Triomphe. I should maybe not begin with this one, but this is the one I am the most excited about. Le Palais de la Découverte, Palace of Discovery, will reopen on June 5th, 2025, after being closed for renewal for a long time. For 5 years, le Palais de la Découverte has been transferred to a temporary location and now it's back. It's at the same place as the Grand Palais, which is a museum dedicated to art, but also to great events, and it was a venue of the Olympics last summer. This winter, it was where we had the skating rink. So, le Palais de la Découverte is next to le Grand Palais, and it all forms a very huge old building. For kids under 10, le Palais de la Découverte is a great museum to understand about everything concerning science. I used to go there a lot with my kids. For the reopening, they will have a temporary exhibition and they will have a museum dedicated for kids inside le Palais de la Découverte. It will be called le Palais des Enfants, literally the Kids' Palace. It will be a totally new space for kids ages from 2 to 10, and it will offer a mixed match of art and science. The first exhibit of this kids area will be Transparence, literally meaning transparency. The rest of the permanent offering, like le planetarium and the permanent museography, will reopen only in 2026. Their exhibition will focus on science research again, and they will explain all fundamental knowledge. A major new feature will be that observation instruments will be installed on the roof of Le Grand Palais. Also, a room will feature an equatorial garden, and the old famous rooms will be remodeled, like the electricity room, the astronomy room, the biology room, the chemistry room, computer science room, mathematics and physics rooms, any rooms. So, as soon as June 6th, if visiting Paris with kids under 10, you would want to check le Palais de la Découverte and get a ticket in advance. Le Palais de la Découverte is at the bottom of the Champs-Élysées, so you might want to walk up les Champs-Élysées and visit l'Arc de Triomphe. That would be a fun visit with kids, because from the terrace you will see cars as miniatures. In case they can't walk very well, you have to ask for the inside elevator. They will offer you a family guide at the entrance, but I'll make another video on the Arc de Triomphe. Number 2, the Eiffel Tower, plus 3 museums around and the aquarium near it. Of course, you would want to climb the Eiffel Tower. Climbing from the bottom to the second level is very fun, and then you would go from the second level to the top by elevator, which is compulsory. Best advice is to take the tickets in advance, but the con is that you wouldn't be able to choose the weather forecast. Just at the bottom of the Eiffel Tower, near the Seine River, you have a museum called le Musée Quai Branly Jacques Chirac, and it has a little nice, not very well known coffee shop here where you can have lunch. In this museum, you will find 4 continents on one level, and you would find works of art, clothing, furniture, crockery, scenery from every corner of the globe. The museum is designed as a vast territory to discover. It offers a concrete vision of the richness of different cultures, and it aims to highlight the dialogue between cultures. It really shows how exchanges between different cultures have brought transformations and progress. If you cross the bridge in front of the Eiffel Tower and go up the gardens, les Jardins du Trocadéro, you will arrive at Place du Trocadéro. And there you will find, on your left, 2 great museums for kids just next door, one to another. It's around 20 minutes walk from the bottom to the up. It's le Musée de la Marine, it means the Museum of the Navy, and it's a great one, recently reopened after a big renewal. And next door, le Musée de l'Homme, the Museum of Man, of Mankind. Le Musée de la Marine will set you on a journey with 3 main crossings on the themes of maritime issues of the past, the present and the future. It covers numerous fields such as scientific and technical, military, archaeological, and ethnographic objects, along with models, photographs, sculpture, paintings, arts. Just next door, you have le Musée de l'Homme, Museum of Mankind. And the visit circuit is all about understanding who we are as humans, understanding our place among living beings through what we used to be and imagining what we will become. It's highly educational and entertaining, and the approach is as much biological as it is historical, geographical, or even philosophical. If I were to choose one museum among these 3 museums around the Eiffel Tower, I would definitely choose le Musée de l'Homme, the Museum of Mankind, as the history of mankind is fascinating when seen with distance and perspective. With kids under 10, visiting an aquarium is always a fun and relaxing moment, and there is one in le Jardin du Trocadéro. So when you go up from the Eiffel Tower to la Place du Trocadéro, on your right you have the aquarium. There you would see sharks, a pool of jellyfishes, or you will be able to touch the fishes. Also on Place du Trocadéro you will find many brasserie restaurants and the famous Carrette historical coffee shop. Not the less expensive, but it's good and they have good ice cream there. So, if your kids like ice cream, the waiting can be a little bit long if you come too late, but you can get sandwiches, pastries and ice cream to go, and you can go back on the terrace of the Trocadéro. That being said, the park called le Champ de Mars is a much nicer park. Le Champ de Mars is at the bottom of the Eiffel Tower, opposite side of the river. If it's still there, you will find here on the right a very old-fashioned merry-go-round, and le Champ de Mars is a nicer place than le Jardin du Trocadéro. Another option is to walk alongside the river Seine, as there are many playful areas on the river banks. You can go just down the stairs at the corner of the street and the bridge at the bottom of the Eiffel Tower. Now, third, le Jardin des Plantes, plus la Galerie de l'Évolution, plus la Ménagerie, plus la Galerie de Paléontologie. It's a whole different area of Paris where you would find at the same place many different things to do with kids under 10. It's not ideal as far as restaurants are concerned here though. Let me give you a little bit of historical context here. Le Jardin des Plantes means the garden of plants, and it's very historical, beautiful and educational. At the start, it was a medicinal garden of the king, and it dates back to 1635. Louis XIII decided to create this garden to train future doctors and apothecaries, and it took 5 years of planting and work before it opened. Botany, chemistry and anatomy classes in French were available free of charge, and they had an immediate success from the start. It was French and not Latin. Back then, the professors were speaking in Latin. From the start, the whole idea here was to collect and educate. The garden is very interesting and beautiful, and rectangular beds organize resource plants into several categories. You'll find dying plants used for coloring, fiber plants used to make yarn, paper, rope, fabric. You'll find fragrance plants, so on. The greenhouses are a great visit too. Le Jardin des Plantes belongs to the Paris Natural History Museum. It's called le MNHN, so it's MNHN. All in all, the MNHN manages 19 establishments. The most imposing building of Le Jardin des Plantes is la Galerie de l'Évolution, the Evolution Gallery. You would want to visit it with kids. It shows the story of birth of life as well as all kinds of animals. It also explains the whole evolution, thus the name. But in this whole area, you have much more to visit, of course. On one side, Le Jardin des Plantes is bordered by galleries, Gallery of Geology, Gallery of Botany, and Gallery of Paleontology. On the other side, you have les grandes serres, the big greenhouses. You would want to visit them. And you also have a little zoo, la Ménagerie du Jardin des Plantes, always a hit with kids under 10. It's a small one, but interesting one. Of course, with kids fans of dinosaurs, you would want to go to the Paleontology Gallery. Always a hit. On the little hill of this park, you will find La Gloriette de Buffon, which is this little shelter. And it's interesting because its creation dates back to 1787, so it makes it the oldest metal building in Paris, around 100 years before Gustave Eiffel's metal constructions. Number 4. La Fondation LVMH et le jardin d'acclimatation à côté. On the west side of Paris, you have a big wood called le Bois de Boulogne. Inside the Bois de Boulogne, you have le jardin d'acclimatation, which is a little amusement park, next to la Fondation LVMH, which is a big museum with big exhibits. Even little people here know that they connect together, so if you get a ticket for the museum, you can have a free entrance to the amusement park. Of course, you would have to buy tickets for the rides, but still you can visit with a free entrance. Le Jardin d'Acclimatation is the only amusement park inside Paris. You can picnic in the park, the museum restaurant is good, not cheap but good, and you'll find plenty of restaurants in the amusement park, Le Jardin d'Acclimatation. What I like about the Jardin d'Acclimatation is that it is a historical amusement park. Since it was founded in 1860, Le Jardin d'Acclimatation has been a unique place to discover, stroll around and marvel at. It was created as part of Napoleon III's overall plan to restructure and modernize the capital. It was inspired by the model of the London parks. he had enjoyed when visiting Queen Victoria. There is a large aviary, a dovecote, stables, a theatre, and a bandstand, with a special mention for the parrots. But of course, you'll find a lot of animals and playgrounds. It's a very nice small amusement park. 5. Now, le zoo de Vincennes and le château de Vincennes. Should you rather go to a bigger zoo with giraffes, you would go the opposite side of Paris to the Bois de Vincennes, the other big wood of Paris. And there you would find le Parc Zoologique de Paris. It belongs to the MNHN of Le Jardin des Plantes I was talking about, but it's in a different location, so it's a little bit confusing even for us. Le Zoo de Vincennes is at the border of Paris and two other small towns named Saint-Mandé and Vincennes. Here at the Vincennes Zoo, they will have more wild animals like leopards, panthers, sea lions, wolves, and many other species. And they have the blob. The blob is the French name for the many-headed slime. It's not a plant, it's not an animal, it's not a mushroom. This is a single-celled organism that has incredible properties which have shown great promise in enabling major scientific breakthroughs to be made. I like the blob. Not so far from the zoo park of Vincennes, you'll also have another aquarium, and they have white crocodiles. They are Mississippi alligators, and it's called l'Aquarium de la Porte Dorée, the aquarium of the Golden Gate. Not so far from le Zoo de Vincennes, you might want to visit le Château de Vincennes, which is a real middle-aged castle. It was at one time of history the preferred residence of French kings in the 14th to 16th century. It is particularly known for its donjon or keep, a fortified central tower, the tallest in Europe, and for the chapel. So it's a big visit with kids under 10 if they are big into knights and medieval castles. 6. La Cité des Sciences et la Géode. Also east side of Paris but on the north border, you would find La Cité des Sciences, the Science City, a science museum, the counterpart of le Palais de la Découverte. At the same place you would find the 3D movie theater, La Géode, and a place to rent small electric boats on Canal Saint-Martin. I have not tried them, but people seem to like them. So here again, in this area, lots of things to do. The whole area is called le Parc de la Villette. And on le Parc de la Villette, you will find La Philharmonie, which is a very modern concert hall. And just next door to La Philharmonie, there is a good museum dedicated to music and the history of music and the history of instruments. This museum is called La Cité de la Musique, the Music City. Set. L'Hôtel de la Marine with a cooking workshop. Another fun thing to do inside a museum with kids is a cooking workshop. This one is inside l'Hôtel de la Marine and is with the Cordon Bleu School. They have dedicated workshop with kids. It's inside l'Hôtel de la Marine, which is the Navy hotel, not to be mistaken with le Musée de la Marine, which is the Museum of the Navy. It's confusing, but it's two different places. 8. Of course, a boat tour with bateau-bus is a good idea. I find a boat tour always a good idea when everybody's tired. or to move from one place to another, as the bateau bus could bring you from the Eiffel Tower area to Le Jardin des Plantes. The boat would get you there in around 1 hour. Also, it's like a bus you can hop on and hop off. It's not really budget friendly, but it's really worth it. The starting point and the end of the loop of the bateau bus is at the Eiffel Tower. Almost all these museums are kids-friendly and will offer you a visit guide. Oh non! Faut pas mettre des mots compliqués comme ça. Bon, ça va. Well, I hope this video helps you organize your trip better if you're visiting Paris with kids under 10. Don't hesitate to ask in the comments if you would like some more infos on something. Et voilà, I would be thrilled if you would leave a blue thumb up, and why not subscribe. Until next time, thank you for your time, enjoy Paris!